And now I'm going to highlight Rachel's slide, or this screen, so that you'll be able to see her as we are together for Havdalah and for story during SUKKOT in the sukkah. So since Rachel and Elsie helped me put up the sukkah along with Carol, I figured why not do Havdalah from here? So I'll let Rachel take over.
Oops, I gotta get settled. There we go. So my foot gets caught in between the two things. Okay, so last week we did our SUKKOT story. So this week we're preparing for Simchat Torah story. Although this story is more about Torah than it is about the holiday itself. Now, there was a young boy who loved to be out in the field. His name was Aaron. And he would look, and today he saw a shiny rock, a dull coin, half-eaten bits of candy, and some wilted wildflowers. Those were treasures to him, and he would collect them. He knew it was time to go home for lunch, but still he sat on his favorite rock, fingering his discoveries and watching the anthill in front of him. It was Thursday, and every Thursday was the same. His mother would pull him onto her lap to try to teach him the alphabet. He would wiggle away and run to his ant friends and his wildflowers. He would stay away too long. His mother would be worried and then angry, and then like clockwork, he would bring her a bouquet for the Shabbat table, and everything would smooth over again until next week. So Aaron continued to sit on his rock watching his colony of ants. Who cares about alphabet? He thought indignantly. Ants can't read or write, and they don't seem to mind it one bit. In fact, they seem very happy. They can't be bothered with studying, he thought, and neither can I. He carefully unwrapped a piece of candy and sucked down it slowly to make it last as long as possible. He was still hungry, though, and he knew he was going to have to go home soon to eat something. But how could he when Mama would have that look on her face and a book next to his plate? That's the way it had been last week. Don't you want to learn how to write your name, sweetie? Mama asked him at lunchtime. What for? He said. Well, if you study, then someday maybe become a great scholar like Papa. If he's such a great scholar, why does he need to keep studying? Said Aaron. When I grow up, I'm going to have lots of money and great adventures. I won't have any time to sit around reading books. Those of you who know me will know that is my sentiment is exactly the opposite of that one. Probably a good thing I didn't share with Aaron. And the week before that, his mother asked him, Aaron, love, my dear, won't you want to know who you were named after? I know who I was named after. Uncle Aaron, your brother. No, I mean from the Bible. Don't you want to know who the first Aaron was and what he did? There are wonderful stories. She waved a paper and pencil under his nose like they were freshly laid cookies. But he didn't bite. You can tell me at bedtime, Mama. I'll be back soon, he said and raced out. And so it had gone on for months. Aaron running off, Mama pleading, and time passing. But today when Aaron turned home, he knew something was different. Mama was standing outside waiting for him, smiling a smile, was not entirely happy. Sitting at the table was none other than the great Rebbe. Aaron had seen him many times before. He knew that rumbling voice well. He had memorized that stern look. And now, here was a great Rebbe himself glaring at him, his beard tucked in the collar of his dark suit. I will take care of this, the great Rebbe said. His voice seemed even lower and gruffer than Aaron remembered. Leave the boy to me, he growled. Just give me a minute with him, and you'll see. Aaron turned to run like he did with his mama, but Mama was standing in his way. She wasn't going to let him go this time. She shook her head slowly as if to say, no running, nope, not a chance. There was no choice. So Aaron pushed himself up and got himself ready and turned around to face the Rebbe, his great enemy, the one who wanted to teach him how to read. No, so say something, boy, said the great Rebbe. Do you know why I'm here? Aaron shook his head, but of course he knew. Because he didn't want to study, he was probably in for a scolding, yelling, ooh, gee, maybe even a spanking. He set his mouth in a flat line and narrowed his eyes, glaring at the great Rebbe. I am here to teach you Torah, the great Rebbe said loudly. Then without another word, he gathered Aaron into his chest and hugged him. At first, Aaron felt nothing but relief. This was no punishment after all. With a sigh, Aaron allowed his head to fall into the great Rebbe's shoulder, where he could smell the dust of books and the wool of the old man's coat. The great Rebbe did not relax his grip. Aaron felt so comfortable, though, in that bear hug that he had no thought of pulling away. His mother stood nodding and smiling in the corner of the room. Against the bulk of the thick coat, it was so quiet and peaceful. When Aaron sighed again, he was surprised to breathe in the sweet smell of lavender. As he closed his eyes and leaned into the Rebbe, images of Hebrew letters began to dance around his mind like flickering flames. Letters came together, and the flames grew brighter and brighter, filling Aaron with warmth. Finally, the great Rebbe released him. There, Aaron, that's your first lesson in Torah, he said. Would you like to continue? That's a lesson? The boy stammered. How could that be a lesson? He could still feel the imprint of the great Rebbe's coat against his face. That's the only lesson, the old man said. Aaron noticed that his voice no longer seemed like a growl, just deep. The Rebbe continued, love. How to love yourself by living a good life. How to love others by treating them the way you would like to be treated. How to love the world that God made for us. Love is what makes our work different and more important than the work of your ants. Well, Aaron's mouth fell open. How did the great Rebbe know about his ants? He hadn't told anybody. I know about the candy and the wildflowers too, the old man added. I was a boy once also, you know, he said, brushing some bits and dirt from Aaron's shirt. He plucked a smashed flower from the boy's buttonholes and placed it in his own headbands, where there was already a tiny stalk of lavender. So, the great Rebbe told Aaron's mother, it's all settled. Aaron will meet with me every day after breakfast to study. Do you agree, boy? Aaron surprised himself by nodding. He couldn't take his eyes from the great Rebbe's lumbering figure as he headed out into the late day sun. When Aaron had learned the whole Hebrew alphabet, his mother celebrated by baking sugar cookies in the shapes of the letter. When Aaron began to study Torah, the great Rebbe rewarded him with a drop of honey to lick off at the bottom of each page. And when Aaron became a rabbi, he spent a few minutes every morning picking wildflowers to decorate his classroom. He too wanted to make his students' learning as sweet as it could be. So, SIMCHAT Torah, we're starting the study of the Torah again, and Aaron learns an important lesson. We're going to switch here now. Robert, do you want to just come over this machine? Okay.
I think that looks better in here. Okay, I'll turn your chair this way. So we have the lulav and the etrog here as well. because we're in the sukkah and everybody's in except Maya, who's decided to stay out right now. You coming in now that I mentioned you? Come on. Okay. Well, Maya is joining us as well. She's going to be elusive here. There you go. Here's Maya and Rachel, and here's Elsie. Okay, and I'm going to share the text for Havdalah in the chat, and then we'll be ready to make Havdalah together. So hold on one moment. So I'm going to share on Monday evening a short reel story that I learned of a Holocaust Torah that actually is returning to Czechoslovakia on Simchat Torah. So I'll tell you more about it.
Saw that.
Did you see it? But so I think it's really exciting and an interesting turn of events, because all of us with our Holocaust Torahs, the idea was that it's on a loan for us. And if there were to be a community back in Czechoslovakia, again, that it could be returned. And there is now a Reformed congregation in Czechoslovakia. And I did not know that there was a very strong Reformed tradition either in Czechoslovakia before the war. So there's always new things we can be learning. And I brought 2 spice boxes out here. So well, she's on her back on the stone surface, but her tummy can be rubbed. You'd think she'd do it at a soft place, but no. Maya's lying in the middle of the sukkah now. It feels like we're sort of at the right time now as it's starting to get darker out. Because so many times we've been doing this when it was light, but now it's not, well, it's light here with the lights here, but it's not outside of here. So if you have your candles lit and then you have your
That's the one light.
Is it lighting?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
So please join with me. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen. Now for the spices, for the besamim, and actually you can use the spice box, you can use the etrog, because the etrog has such a beautiful smell. So you can take that out and we can use that for our spices tonight too. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei besamim borei minei besamim. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech Ha'olam. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol or lechoshech ben yom hashvi'i lesheshet yemei hamaseh. Baruch atah Adonai Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Before we do anything more, I need a sip of tea, sorry. So as we watch the flame dancing or the flames, ready to put the candle out in the wine or juice. Okay. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Ravi Aminu, Yavo Eleinu, Imashiach ben David, Imashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Atishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi. So as I'm singing here, the neighbors next door, the dogs are coming out and barking with us. I'm not sure, I think there's a two behind me. So we'll all have to sing Shavua Tov together to overpower them. Maya's not making a sound, by the way. She's just here with us. She's used to Havdalah. Shavua Tov, 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 a good week of peace, may gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace, may gladness reign and joy increase. Shavua Tov. So we'll be back on Zoom on and I think Facebook, but Zoom for sure, on Monday evening for Simchat Torah, and we're going to gather at 6:30. We'll light the holiday candles and a yahrzeit candle because it's also Yizkor. So invite you would usually light a yahrzeit candle before you light your holiday candles. And then do a little bit more. I'll talk about this Holocaust Torah, this returning to Czechoslovakia a little more. And then we will play the video of the whole program from the URJ. So it's about, they say it's about 34 minutes. And it includes music from a lot of different Jewish artists that they are performing. And there also will be a short reading from Deuteronomy, the end of that, and the beginning of Genesis, and some kind of story or Devar Torah, I'm not sure what. The whole program will be closed captioned, and AJ Cohn will be doing the signing. Her signing is beautiful to watch, ASL, of the music. She's been signing Jewish music concerts for years. And so all of that will be part of the program. Since I don't trust myself with all the technology, Evan will be there to assist. Anybody who would like to watch from home, please do. If anyone would like to come to the synagogue, I'll be at the synagogue and watching it in the sanctuary. So if you want to watch it with other people, you're invited to come there. If you want to watch it from home, after the program's over, we'll do the gallery thing and just hang out for a bit if people would like. So we'll have that aspect of the holiday too, sort of hanging out together. So that will be the next time we'll be on, and then we'll be on Facebook again for Shabbat again next week. So we'll say goodbye to those people on Facebook and wish you all a Shavua